Hi there, my name is Lauren McCauley and I am the co-founder of the Body Love Society. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the number one reason you are binge eating, and then I'm going to give you 3 ways you could stop binge eating and find peace and freedom around food. So if you are someone who has experience with binge eating, you're definitely going to want to watch this video. The number one reason you are binge eating, of course, there are many things that could be a part of binge eating, but the number one reason you are binge eating is restriction. If you still have restriction in your life and you are still binge eating, that is the reason that the binge eating is continuing. It is almost impossible to stop binge eating if you are still restricting food. So what is binge eating? So there is a difference between binge eating and eating too much or overeating. And I put those in quotes because I really don't want to make eating too much or overeating something that seems negative, because it's not. Because sometimes in the world of dieting or just being a human, we are going to eat food and it may feel like too much, or you may get full, and that is okay. So we are not talking about just overeating and feeling discomfort or feeling like you ate too much. That is not binge eating. That really is just being part of, a human and eating. So what is binge eating? So that is when it's like an experience. So binge eating is when you probably have gone through a really restrictive phase. If not, I'm not saying that's the only thing that happened, but maybe you have been restricting certain foods or not allow yourself to have certain foods. And then you have a moment where it all breaks loose and it is time to binge. And that is like, it's almost as if you go into like a different state. You are not yourself. Nothing else matters. You don't care how you're going to get the food, where you're going to get the food. You are on a mission to get it. You don't care how much money you are going to spend on it. And you will find yourself doing really odd behaviors with binge eating. So it also is a way of, it's almost like you go out of your body, you don't even know that you're eating the food, and you are putting so much food in your body that it's almost impossible. You almost feel like, how am I even doing this? And that is a binge. It's like your body is in like primal hunger because you have been restricting food or saying to yourself, it's not allowed to eat this food. So you are going hard and you almost feel like you are not even yourself. I almost picture myself like my eyes glaze over. I become a different human and it is on, and nothing else matters in life except getting the food that I need to get right now and fill up, and you just eat the most absurd amounts of food. And not to make that sound shameful or judgmental, it's really not about that, but I just really want to give you the difference between what is a binge and what is just normally overeating food and just feeling a little bit full. So that's the difference here. So I'm assuming you're watching this video because you have experienced binge eating and you really do not want to experience this anymore. You want to stop this completely. And I totally understand. I've been there. Both Jenna and I were binge eaters for 10 years. We were in the restrict binge cycle. So I get it. So I'm going to go over the 3 ways you could stop binge eating and find more peace and freedom around food. Of course, this is going to take some work. It's not going to happen overnight, but doing these 3 things can absolutely help you. So the first thing is you gotta allow all the food. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is bad or wrong. It is now all available to you. You get to allow the foods that you feel like you either need to restrict or you don't trust yourself around because you feel like you'll binge on it. You really are feeding the binge by not allowing yourself to have this food. And let's be honest, you're going to restrict, say, I don't trust myself, I can't have this food because I will binge on it. But what happens? There's that inevitable binge. You can only hold on for so long until that binge happens. So in order to reverse that, we got to stop the restriction. We have to allow all the food. Yes, even the foods that feel really scary. And you don't have to do all food at once, but let's just start with one food that feels scary or that you binge on or that you restrict. Let's allow yourself to have it whenever you want at any time of day. Literally have no rules around allowing this type of food. Okay, so the second thing is availability. Because yes, you can allow this food, allow it all. And I want you to make sure that you have availability to this food because let's just say it's ice cream. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna go allow myself to have some ice cream. Okay, well, it may feel like there's a bit of scarcity because you'll go and eat it and then you may not have any more at home. And what happens if you want it? So you're still gonna be in that phase of like, oh, I better just eat it all now because I don't have any more. It is a privileged thing to be able to supply an abundance amount of food. If that is available to you, I really strongly suggest to have the availability to get it in your home. If it's ice cream, get a lot of it and put it in the freezer. So you can't possibly have it in one night. You really need to create availability and abundance. If it's chips, get a lot of bag of chips and put it in the house. Make sure that it is available to you whenever you want. So you're not in that feeling of, oh, it's gonna run out, because that's part of the binge as well. You feel like there's a sense of scarcity, so you just have to eat it all. So we really wanna get a lot of availability, a lot of abundance into your home and just have it on hand. So it's just part of your normal living. It's just next to you when you want it and you can have it whenever you want it, right? You get to allow it at any time of the day, whatever you want to do with it. And I know this may seem crazy and it may seem out of control, but it is not. This is really the way to stop the binging. You gotta allow it and you gotta get it in your house. It has to be available and it has to be in abundance. Okay, so the third thing that you're gonna wanna do is this is the hardest part. You may think like actually eating the food and getting it in your home is the hardest part, but actually it's really shifting your mindset around food. And it's really getting rid of that mental restriction. So you can allow all the food that you want. You could be literally eating the chips and the ice cream and the cookies that make you feel scared, and you're allowing. But if your mindset is telling you this is wrong, this is bad, I shouldn't be eating this, then that's going to continue the restriction because it's a mental restriction. So if you in the physical restriction and you in the mental restriction, that is like the sweet spot with stopping the binge eating. So when you are eating these foods, when the food is in abundance, when you are allowing this food, you're really going to want to tell yourself really amazing, loving, allowing thoughts. So when you are eating, I am safe to eat this food. It's okay to eat this food. I am not good or bad for eating this food. There's no morality in food. I have availability to this food. As I'm eating it, you're thinking loving thoughts towards yourself. And that's going to be the key piece. Other than physically allowing it, the key piece is to really have the mindset to come along with it. So I know that could be a lot, and it takes practice. So don't think that it has to happen overnight, but let's start allowing the food. Let's get it in your house, have it be available and in abundance, and then check your thoughts. Ask yourself, what am I thinking while I'm eating this food? And continue to check in. And yes, the thoughts are not going to just shift overnight. And you can still check in, get curious, and shift those thoughts. And the more you say, hey, I caught that thought. I see that that's not serving me, or I just made myself really wrong and bad and feel a lot of shame for eating that food. I'm going to switch that thought and I'm going to say, you know what? It's okay to eat this. I am safe to eat this, and there's no morality in food. And just keep shifting those thoughts. And as you keep allowing the food and have the food around you and keep shifting the thoughts around the physical allowance of food, that's when it's really going to start the transformation and you're going to feel a difference. Also, it's really important if you want to seek professional help, you can get a non-diet counselor, you can get a non-diet therapist, and they can help you through the binge eating. Of course, we want to make sure that they are in alignment with undieting, non-diet, health at every size. So it's important to find the right person. So if you do feel like you want extra support we are here for you to work with you, or you can also look for a licensed professional, or you can do both. I think that's what we really consider the most. Jenna and I are training to be therapists, but we're not licensed yet. So we do suggest, if you do feel like this is a really serious issue for you, then definitely find that professional counselor to work with, and then you can also work with us on the side. We have an Undiet Your Mind journal that is really helpful, that you can wake up and do that 5-10 minutes a day just to get your mindset around shifting your thoughts around food. And we also have an Undiet Your Mind app that's really helpful. There's lessons, courses, and meditations, and actually there's movement videos now. That's a new add-on that we have. So those are some resources that you can take on and really find that peace and freedom around food and stop the binging. But if you want to start somewhere, start with those 3 tips that I gave you. So everybody, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be giving videos every single week, and we also will be uploading a podcast video as well. See you next time.